Hello and good evening. I am William R. Kraft Jr. and this is the Poets Cafe. With Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday being a national holiday, which was celebrated this Monday, this week we're focusing on the Martin Luther King Jr. Poetry Competition, which is run by the Tompkins County Human Rights Commission. And our guest in this first segment is Teddy Zimrot, and she is the director of the Tompkins County Human Rights Commission.
Retiring director.
Retiring.
Because we have a new one who's just begun.
How long have you been running the Martin Luther King Poetry Competition?
This was the 9th year that we began a poetry contest. We were interested in trying to initiate something that youngsters could participate in, because so often, because of the serious nature of the issues we handle, our programs are geared to adults, whereas this was something that we felt youngsters could learn about the philosophy of Dr. King and hopefully could be creative and get excited and get some rewards for having entered the contest and being selected.
I noticed that the title of the competition was Two Marches, One Challenge. What does this title embody about the contest?
It was a little different this year because in previous years we would always take a sentence, a phrase from Dr. King's writings, and we thought that we wanted, because we were still thinking about and reacting to the recent Million Man March, we thought that we would use as the title the two marches, Dr. King, the march in 1963, and the present march, having youngsters realize that there is continuity in the efforts that we're trying to do. We have not achieved what Dr. King was trying to achieve, and we're still on the road to achievement, and so we focused on the two marches and then pulling them together as one challenge.
We're because you were this year focusing on something that is a current event. Did you get more poems in this year than you usually get in?
I don't know if it's cause or effect, because I think we certainly were making the teachers or parents and the youngsters work hard. They had to do some research. We didn't just hand them something, but we got poems from 150 different individuals who were involved, and some very nice behind-the-scenes kinds of things. As I called parents of winners, I would hear that they went to the library, they researched, they took home 4 books, one parent was telling me, and other parents, about the kind of discussion they had. And that's exactly what's important, that the person learn something, invest themselves into something. Because let's realize it's 1996, and people did not, our young people certainly were not there, and they have to go and find resources to learn about the past.
Do you find that young people know a lot about Dr. King's philosophies?
Certainly the poetry contest people did, and then I was privileged to go to a school program, and it certainly seemed that they were doing a lot, and I would hope that we're doing a good job of helping them learn if they don't know.
So it's been 9 years since you first started. Do you think as time goes by the contest gets better each year? Do you think the quality of poems is getting better each year that are submitted?
I guess it's usually commissioners who are part of this committee that does the selection, and it's one of the chores that they look forward to. Each year, because we usually start around 6:30, and we never know when we're going to finish. We read every poem. Not only that, but each member has to read and decide, and then we usually go over the last few, because it's very difficult making that kind of selection, and it's just a very exciting kind of thing, and I think everybody is a winner if they've grown and understood something, even though they may not be the winner who's going to be reading tonight or reading at the breakfast, because all of the youngsters have the opportunity to read it at the breakfast that just was Saturday, the GIAC breakfast at the Bev Martin School.
As you know, as I mentioned earlier, as time goes by, I think more of us have read more of Dr. King's philosophies, and I think that is going on. Our children are more taking Dr. King as a very influential person in American history. Do you think the poems reflected this?
I guess we get stricter with the years, so that's one
Yeah.
of the things the committee has done.
Yeah.
The committee looks to see, have the poems addressed the title, the
Yeah.
issue, and they're remarkable. We're going to be privileged this evening to see how remarkable some of the poems are,
Yeah.
of including, of demonstrating understanding. And of course, his philosophy is something that we need desperately
Yeah.
in terms of still learning how to live with each other, and
Yeah.
that violence is not the way,
Yeah.
that peaceful
Yeah.
discussion.
I don't think there's very many people who would argue with that philosophy, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing these 9 poems tonight. I read over them when you first gave them to me, and the quality was very good. I know when I was at that age, I couldn't have written anything that was that good.
Sometimes we surprise ourselves
Yeah.
also when we try, and I think that's part of the pleasure of this, that these youngsters, they didn't know whether they would be winners either, the ones who are here this evening,
Yeah.
and their delight, excitement, and so forth in being a winner.
Well, that's all the time we have for the interview, because the most important part is hearing the youngsters' poems. And I want to thank you for joining us, and I certainly hope the exposure that being on television helps the contest in future years. So it's very important for all of us to take on Dr. King's philosophies.
And we're always looking for ways for people knowing that the Tompkins County Human Rights Commission exists, and we will handle community issues and problems or issues around discrimination.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll be back in 1 minute after this calendar of events shows, so stay tuned.
Live and direct this year, watch how the human complex up and get early, watch me. Because they ready me, cool, ready me, nice, ready me, check. Cause some of them are bigger than mouth and them don't know how to check. Cause me cooler than them, cooler than ice, cooler than they not cool. Cause they want to contest their roof, why but them just can't do it. Believe they want to tackle, but they want to impress. But they know that the article of roof, why come in live and direct. Da-da-da-da-da-day. To the young man a come fi get them problem. Wa-da-da-dang-da-da-day. Watch me. Cause some of them big, some of them small, some of them are them kinda sweet. None of them are girls, them enough what deals, them just a look at the talk and eat. Cause they want to me nice, want to me sweet, want to me now and everywhere. Cause me sit them at the top of their rip, and they know me just don't care. Because they want to me taste, want to me this, want to me know and like all that. Cause they know so the talk and you me just a move on this spot. Wa-da-da-dang-da-da-day. To the young man just a give them problem. Wa-da-da-dang-da-da-day.
Welcome back, and first tonight we have Stephanie Chu with assistance from her brother Kevin. Kevin is in the 3rd grade, and Stephanie's in the 1st at Northeast Elementary School, and right now they will perform their piece.
Martin Luther King, he was such a peaceful thing. He wished us all equal rights. He led us through peaceful fights. Martin Luther King, he was such a peaceful thing. Peaceful, peaceful, peaceful march. How he won lots in that march. Down in Washington, D.C., in the year of 63. Peaceful, peaceful, peaceful march. How he won lots in that march. I have a dream, I have one, equal rights for everyone. Same school, same jobs outside too. Civil Rights Act let you do. I have a dream, I have one, equal rights for everyone. Young men restless want to fight, try to get more equal rights. Violent, violent Memphis March. People hurt lots in that march. Young men restless want to fight, try to get more equal rights.
That was very good. Thank you very much. Next we have Catherine Grace Young, who goes to Bell Sherman Elementary School and is in the 2nd grade.
I'm a good man. I'm a good man, but I am no more than any other. I march in the streets of Alabama. I am a no-violence man. I have a dream that all people can be treated equally. I, Martin Luther King Jr., love your enemies.
That was very good, Catherine. And next, also from Bell Sherman, we have Robin Rose Salisbury.
My name's Robin, and I am a 5th grader at Bell Sherman School. I'm representing the Science and Math Saturday Academy at Ithaca College. The title of my poem is Two Marches. So many people walking, marching for civil rights. 1,000,000 men standing, tall and proud together in peace. Change racism into liking everyone. Black people, white people, yellow and brown. Marching to learn to love ourselves and to be responsible and strong. Learning that we deserve respect and gaining self-esteem. 30 years of marching, millions and millions of men. Have we learned anything as people, or must we march again?
Now we have come up to the stage Caitlin Fields from the GIAC After School and Teen Program in the 2nd grade.
The name of my poem is Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King did speeches about it did not matter if you were black or white. When Martin Luther King was alive, they were not nice to the black people, and now people are treated fairly. I think people can be all different colors, and all different people can play with everybody.
This nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of...
Welcome back. Now coming up to the stage, we have Tahare Morales, who's in grade 4 at Cayuga Heights Elementary School.
Two marches, one challenge. People are beginning to think of the most challenging issue of our racial link, the historic marches about racism held in Washington, D.C., really for all humanity. For 150 years, our nation has been ill. With love and education that we are one, no one would ever kill. Martin Luther King was martyred for his belief because the road to equality is long and full of grief. The animals do not fight over color, the flowers grow in one garden, so let's close the door to prejudice and especially racism. Let it be known that unity and diversity is a key.
That was very good. Next, coming up the stage, we have Aditi Sen, who is in the 4th grade, and she's also at Cayuga Heights Elementary.
Two marches. One, its purpose to gain respect for a people who had suffered much, to make all see all others equally, to show they must have their rights and to gain them nonviolently. The other, to inspire a moral force in the African American nation. Great poets were there and wrote poems encouraging this. Two marches towards the common goal of strength and equality, though the looks, the sounds, the times have changed.
That was very good. Next, we'd like to bring up Sonia Harper up to the stage. And she's going to be reading 2 poems. She's going to be reading her poem as well as one by Kenitra McRae, who is also who's also in her age group. Oh, sorry, she's reading one that was written by Carlos T., who's at Louis Gossett Jr. Residential Center.
My poem is Two Marches, One Challenge. Kings march on Washington, D.C., the Million Man March. Kings affected Congress. The Children's Crusade, Park's refusal to get up, Jim Crow laws abolished. Farrakhan had a million-man march to speak of progress. Brotherhood, families, responsibility. That is what he wished. Yes, we shall overcome when we accept that we are all equal. Justice for everyone. That will be progress. We say in our pledge that there is liberty and justice for all. But is there? We must overcome. Freedom won, now justice must prevail. Until it does, look for people all around, searching for justice for everyone, everywhere. That is the challenge. Here's the poem by Carlos T. from Louis Gossett Residential Center. He's 16 years old and in 10th grade. Unfinished. Keep the past part of the present. Let his death not be in vain, because the struggle must continue and society must change. He had dreams of peace, equality, remembrance only just, and because our destiny is up to each and every one of us, the one in every million man can change the world so much. Unity is me, you and me, him and her, or they, when cooperative, together then united we shall stay. Different methods, different eras, different men, one goal in mind. Dr. King, the dove, preaching peace and equalities divine. Louis Farrakhan, a lion, more aggressive due to times, past and present. We are the future. We must educate our minds.
My brothers and sons and grandsons and cousins and nephews, the night has been long. The wound has been deep. The pit has been dark, and the walls have been steep. Under a dead blue sky, on a distant beach, I was dragged by my braids just beyond your reach. Your hands were tied, your mouth was bound, you couldn't even call out my name. You were helpless and so was I. But unfortunately, throughout history, you worn a badge of shame. I say the night has been long. The wound has been deep. The pit has been dark, and the walls have been steep. But today, voices of old spirit sound speak to us in words profound. Across the years, across the centuries, across the oceans, and across the seas, they say, draw near to one another. Save your race. You have been paid for in a distant place. The old ones remind us that slavery's pains has paid for our freedom again and again. The night has been long. The pit has been deep. The night has been dark, and the walls have been steep. The hells we have lived through and live through still have sharpened our senses and toughened our will. The night has been long. This morning I look through your anguish right down to your soul. I know that with each other we can make ourselves whole. I look through the posture and past your disguise and see your love for family in your big brown eyes. I say, clap hands and let's come together in this meeting ground. I say, clap hands and let's deal with each other with love. I say, clap hands and let us get from the low road of indifference. Clap hands, let us come together and reveal our hearts. Let us come together and revive our spirits. Let us come together and cleanse our souls. Clap hands. Let's leave the preening and stop imposturing in our own history. Clap hands. Call the spirits back from the ledge. Clap hands. Let us invite joy into our conversation, courtesy into our bedrooms, gentleness into our kitchens, care into our nurseries. The ancestors remind us, despite the history of pain, we are going on people who will rise again, and still we rise.
Brothers, let's give it to Sister.
Now to finish up the poetry for this evening, we have Yvonne Steinhardt, who's reading a poem that was written by Kenitra McRae.
Hi, I'm Yvonne Steinhardt, and I'm reading a poem by Kenitra McRae. She's a sophomore at Ithaca High School. She's 15, and she's part of the GIAC teen program. The title is "The March is Heard." The march is heard around the world. Where were you when you spoke of freedom and peace? The march is for love, respect, and equality. If you weren't there, you watched. If the power surged through your soul, you marched. Maybe your parents marched on Washington with King, all people united to lift every voice and sing. Maybe you marched with Farrakhan and 1,000,000 men. We all received the message Martin and Lewis were aiming to send. Lift your head, my black sisters, and be proud of your race. You marched too and added your rhythm to the pace. Unite, my black brothers, and find your way through the dark. Understand the lesson behind the message and the beat of your march. If you didn't attend either event, but your heart was there, it didn't matter because the sound of the marches was everywhere. If something no one missed because the marches were heard around the world.
Thank you very much, and one last time, I would like to thank everyone who joined us this evening. I'd try to say their names, but I probably couldn't remember all 10 of our guests this evening. I want to remind everyone to tune in next Friday when our guest will be David Lehman. And that's it, and good evening from the Poets Cafe.
Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it goes.
Free your mind.